Welcome back to another episode of $1 Million Days. I'm here with Troy Fazakerley and co-host Mr. Robbie Chickare.
Thanks for having me, George.
Did you like the intro? Did you like the intro?
It was very good. Very good. That was one take.
I practiced.
Most people won't know that.
I practiced.
But welcome, Troy.
Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us. You've traveled all the way from sunny Noosa.
Not so sunny today, but
Yeah. Hey, we turned it on in
it's
Melbourne.
a beautiful
for you,
day
then.
in Melbourne.
That's it.
Yeah, well,
It's always like this. Didn't you know that?
Oh, I must move.
Yeah.
yeah, and it does make us feel better to think, Queensland's it doesn't have everything.
I do play it down every now and then.
Yeah, I feel like everyone does. They're like, oh, it's not that good. And then you see them and they're
Oh, it's
happy.
amazing.
Every time you go there, it's sunny.
Yeah. I go to Noosa annually, actually. Every summer we head down there with the family and go to the RACV resort down
Lovely.
there.
Good
So
spot.
it is good. Yeah, we've been going there far out, I reckon, for at least the last 8 years straight.
Yeah.
So the kids love it. It's always the same faces we see down there too. We go up with some friends and yeah, always nice weather. Never really contemplated moving up there, but mate, we were talking about it actually a while ago. Some of the property prices in Noosa, phenomenal. And you're not getting like anything grand. It's just the prices you get, you're paying for something up there is massive at the moment, isn't it?
Noosa is certainly its own market.
Yeah.
And it's pretty resilient. It's a special place. And yeah, lived there, grew up in Sydney and lived there for 18 years now and very grateful and fortunate. And it is a great community as well.
Yeah.
It's a great holiday spot and for families and things like that. But it's a great community to be involved in, and there's lots of entrepreneurs and businesses and some pretty cool people hanging out there.
No, it's good.
It's if I had to spend like 20 million on a home, that's where I'd go.
Would you?
Yeah, it's very nice. It's a very, very
somewhere nice and
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't know where else you could spend 20 million in Australia. Like Turak or something, but like it's like you're getting
It's a huge entry point, like for what you're paying, what you're going to get.
they go way higher than that in New South.
Yeah.
Way like some of the house it's you're not getting anything that like you're getting a
Luxurious
really
for the
nice
actual
house
home itself.
Yeah, but you're not getting like what you'd get here, 20 million would be a whole different level, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
you give up the sunshine. Up the sunshine. Troy, thanks for coming down. We appreciate it. Tell us, for those who may not know who you are, do you want to give us a brief intro as to who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. Troy Fazakerley, I'm Sparky, who transitioned to the boardroom and spent many years running large businesses. I am father to 5 amazing daughters and also my beautiful wife and business partner. We have a business advisory firm called Business Alchemy, and also just, as we'll get to, released a book or about to release a book called Business Pattern Science, and that's based on 20 years of all my experience and knowledge and lessons on what I've observed and played with in businesses for the last 20 years from the field.
So former Sparky, I assume.
Yes.
You don't do anymore because we've got a couple of cameras that aren't working.
And a couple of downlights might need you to fix.
I think my finger might have something to do with it.
Why the change? Because I've actually got a trade background as well, and I went from tools to tech.
Yep.
Right. So what I'm curious to know what drove the change in you.
Well, I left school when I was 15 to start my apprenticeship as an electrician. I didn't know I wanted to be an electrician at the time. I just knew I wanted to get out and work. And my parents at the time said to me, you can leave school so long as you have an apprenticeship. So applied for apprenticeships, got into a good electrical apprenticeship, really enjoyed it. Learned a lot of lessons being, 15-year-old and a lot of life lessons as well, going through a trade. And then, I was on the tools and, I always wanted a bit more. And I guess there was probably an element there of, I was probably the first person in my family or extended family. I grew up in the southern suburbs in Sydney, working class suburbs, and we didn't really go to university and things like that. Well, hard workers and tradies and things like that. So I always wondered, what would it be like to be a bit more? Am I smart enough to do more? And I always had that drive and ambition in me. So not long into being a tradesman, I was working in a large organisation, and I said, well, what's next? Do I go down electrical engineering path or something else? And I chose to go down a business route, and I got off the tools into contract management and project management, and from there fell in love with business and then completed an MBA and just gone from there.
So how long were you working as an electrician?
Yeah, probably in total, including my apprenticeship, on the tools, probably 6 to 8 years.
Okay, so a significant amount of time.
Yeah.
Like there would have been, because I used to be a mechanic, right? And it's a great problem solving, like teaches you how to find the problem, how to diagnose.
Correct.
And then fix it, or work out how it works and then fix it, right? But I used to associate, I was probably the mechanic.
Yeah.
Now, if someone says like, you a mechanic? I'm like, no, don't touch, like, no, that's not me anymore. I don't associate at all. Don't even like cars. Used to love cars.
Yep.
Don't even like cars anymore. It's like I moved so far away from that identity that I don't know who that guy is anymore.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I'm like, I don't even like cars.
Yep.
Like apart from going fast, I've got no other interest. There's something like I'll be with my mates and they'll see like some exotic car on the side and I'm like, not even interested.
Yeah.
Zero. And 10 years ago, would have ran towards it. It's like I'm completely disconnected from that. Do you feel the same way?
Do you feel disconnected from it because you like not despise, but you don't like the whole mechanics side of things? So do you reckon there's that element of, fuck, you hated being a mechanic, so now you don't like cars as a result?
No, I didn't hate being a mechanic. I feel like I saw the best of cars. I was like 19 driving around in a C63.
Yeah.
And I was like, and prior to that, I'd like Skylines or Supras, and it's like they're shit now. This is like a whole different level of car, and then it kind of just becomes like, oh, your car's a car. Would I have a smile on my face if I jumped in a Lamborghini? Probably for a little bit.
Well, you did when we went to Vegas.
Yeah, but like because it's gonna go fast. It's like, oh yeah, this is cool, but like I've completely disconnected from. I wanted to have my own workshop, everything. I had my workshop sign drawn up. That's how far. Yeah, like that far. Yeah, that far. Now it's like I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, look, I don't identify as an electrician anymore, although that was.
But you did at one point.
Ground
right?
roots, absolutely. And one of the best roles I had as an electrician, I was doing emergency service work, working for electricity distribution. And that involved shift work. I think I was only 21 years old at the time. And I would have to go into all sorts of situations and quickly think on my feet in high-risk situations. It might be cars hit poles, house fires, wires down, electric shocks, as well with a lot of other people without power, working on my own at night in the back streets of Redfern and King Cross in Sydney and things like that. And I had to learn to problem solve really quick and to be able to make decisions without being able to ask questions to other people and things like that. And I credit a lot of my career to that role in which I've had all that experience.
And so so you said you've got a business advisory firm?
Correct.
So what does your day-to-day look like now?
What does my day-to-day look like? Well, we're running multiple businesses. In business with my wife, she also has a recruitment business that's focused on engineering in southeast Queensland, which is absolutely booming at the moment, which might be a little bit different to the economy in Melbourne, but there's lots going on in Queensland. So that certainly keeps us busy. What I'm actually doing right now, along with business advisory, and that's the day-to-day assisting business owners identify and correct the underlying patterns in their business when they are stuck, when they are stalled, when they no longer have any growth, diagnosing what's actually broken in their business, and we actually correct that. That's my day-to-day work in Business Alchemy. What I'm actually creating is a whole new category in a management discipline called business pattern science.
Well, yeah, we're gonna dive into that. I've got a lot of questions about the book. Do you have any questions? Anything you'd like to add, George?
Negative.
Okay. Tell us what's the biggest thing. So you work with business owners to help them like unblock their blockages, right?
Correct.
What's the number one thing you see where you're like every fucking time, like, you know what I mean?
Look, my fundamental rule in business is know your numbers. It's still amazing how many business owners and I see great businesses and great people. They'll be great at their craft, their profession, their trade, and they get into business. But running a business and a large business is a totally different skill set. And I'm still outstanded by how many business owners just don't know their numbers in their business. That's number one. Number two is probably ownership. And when we talk about ownership in the context of business patterns, this is about as you grow and scale a business, there's only so much you can actually hold on to as a founder, as an owner. And you need to start building, that capability of the leadership team. I know it sounds so simple, but the delegating and empowering people, that really still gets a lot of people stuck and they want to hold on to everything.
I feel that I definitely agree with that. I feel I'm a little bit different in the sense that I niche very much. Do you actually, on that, do you do all businesses? Or do you niche in a certain type of business?
Service-based businesses.
Yeah.
Service-based businesses where I've played my whole career.
Sure.
And
I think that's the way to go. That's what you're an expert in.
Yeah.
What I found is a lot of people tend to be practitioners in their business, as in they were a fantastic electrician.
Correct.
And they're really good at being an electrician, and they don't stop being an electrician even though now they're the director of their company. So it's like, yes, I am director. That's what my title says, but I'm also fitting off GPOs. I'm also running the cables. I'm also digging trenches. I'm also doing the quoting and the estimating, and then everything. And they don't step away from that. And I always say it because from my business, I do a lot of business, construction businesses, predominantly builders, but some trades as well. And the number one thing that I see is they're always a practitioner. So whether they used to be a carpenter, whatever it might be, like they're either stuck on the tools, or I literally just had a coaching session with someone. He's like, I've been doing this for 17 years. I've been relatively successful, but he goes, I realized that I don't have things and processes and systems in place. I've just learned as I've gone through it over the last 17 years. Now, arguably, if he had gotten a coach or a mentor or some advice prior, someone might have told him, hey, 10 years ago, after you're 7 years in, why don't you try do this? And he could have been 10 times further ahead than what he is now. So I think a lot of business owners think, cool, I got my business, now it's my time to just make millions of dollars. But the skills that, and I love this saying, it's like the skills that you have that got you to where you are not the skills that you need to be to get you where you want to go.
100% agree with that. And is it also a question of identity? Robbie just touched on.
Yeah, it could very much be. I am a builder.
Mechanic.
Yeah, I am.
Did you no longer identify as? Yeah, I think there is a shift in business owners where at some point you actually need to shift your identity into being, I'm a business leader now.
Yeah.
And that's a different identity, a different set of skill set to, like I said, what got you there.
Yeah, that's 100% true. Without a doubt, I don't even know that guy. Like it's not. We had two different people. That guy died. He passed away. Yeah, we moved on from him.
Really, I need you to fix my car.
Yeah,
come on.
I'm not the guy.
Come on.
You know what the best part is though? I've carried skills forward. Like I can fix almost anything around the house. I won't, but I can. Right, and just knowing that you can, and like sometimes
I'm
something
goes
wrong.
The same. I actually don't have a trade behind me. I never got one, but I still have that mentality where I'll just give it a crack to try and fix something. Like I had a puncture in my wife's car on the weekend, and I'd already fixed it, which pissed me off. Like she had one, I fixed it, and then she had another one. But 9 times out of 10, I would have just been like, "Oh, I'll go to Bob Jane and get it fixed." And this one was close to the wheel, to the wall of the wheel, so they don't fix it. So I'm like, I'll do it myself. But yeah, same idea. Like I try, and a lot of the time I'll look at something and I go, well, I know I've got the skill set to be able to do that. And I think it's kind of a good fallback. I don't feel completely useless when that comes into play, when something's wrong, or, if dishwasher stops working. All right, well, there's got to be a logical reason why this thing's not working. Let's try to figure it out.
Yeah, and I guess I'm probably doing the same, but on a different dimension where I've started to learn to code. With the help of Claude and AI and things like that, I'm starting to learn to code, and I'm certainly not a software or computer engineer.
Yeah, there's different skill sets that are going to come through as a result of all that stuff now, and we'll probably touch on that anyway, and how it's helping your business.
What do you carry forward from being an electrician to being in business advisory? Like, what's something you learned there that you do here.
Did you run your own electrical company, or were you always working for someone during that time?
No, I was always working for other people in CEO and COO roles towards the end of my career. And
As an electrician? Or you're saying in the corporate space?
No, in large service organizations attached to electricity distribution industries and things like that, but not electrical businesses as such. So, really those electrical skills somewhat lapsed. And it really became, the skill set of how to run large service-based organizations. And as the saying goes, we've had similar mentors. It's about, along the way, I've made a lot of other people a lot of money. And about 5 years ago, I realized, similar to when I was on the tools and wanted to grow and continue, I had a very comfortable life, being, CEO roles and things like that. I had a great life and provided a lot for myself and family, absolutely. Yeah. But there was always, at that point, always an element of, what if I don't make this leap? And I wanted to build something for myself.
Yeah.
And that's where we are now.
Yeah, I can relate in the that feeling of comfort. It's like you're in a job, you're getting paid well, weekends off, your phone doesn't ring, no stress. Like at 6 p.m, I'm done, clock off, and you leave.
I don't remember that feeling.
Yeah, but like that's nice for a brief moment.
Yeah,
and then you get is this it? Is this it? Like, this is it? Like, I'm just gonna do this. That's it. Like forever, then die. And it's like, I can't do that.
Correct.
And I don't know what that itch is. But yeah, I can definitely relate. Is there anything you had to unlearn from, because they're very different. Like, is there stuff that you learned doing? Like, sometimes people got to learn to put the tools down, right? And it's like, hey, you don't have to fix or you need to let go. Like, all right, you could have fit that PowerPoint better than anyone, but that's not your hourly rate's here, not here, right? And you need to accept that they're going to do it at 80% what you could have done that, but no one gives a shit.
Yeah, what did I have to unlearn? It's probably not what I had to unlearn. It's probably what did I have to let go of. And throughout my middle of my career in management roles and things like that, I went through a lot of imposter syndrome. Sitting around rooms in general management roles or management roles and things like that, and sitting around tables where there are people that I perceived were a lot smarter than me, had a lot more experience than me, and here I had still identified as that 15-year-old kid who left school and become a Sparky. So, I probably had to unlearn that identity, which we've touched on a couple of times now. So, it was dealing with that imposter syndrome, which was, holding myself back in a lot of ways. And at the time, probably leading with a bit of ego and, a persona of the leader who I thought I had to be in business, and really learning to become, vulnerable and to be myself and just to back myself ultimately.
There's so many ways I can take this. My mind's spinning with million different things. Okay. So, electrician, business advisory. Jimmy Carr said you should feel imposter syndrome every 18 months.
Wow.
Yeah. He's like, you should. It's a fucking great thing. It means you're doing something you've never done before. He's like, it's a wonderful thing. He's like, you're stepping outside of your fucking comfort zone. He's like, you should go to feel imposter syndrome at least once every 18 months. And he refers to it as like the greatest thing ever. He's like, it's fucking wonderful. And I'm like, when I heard that, I was like, what a perspective. Because most people are like, I feel like I don't belong. It's like, good.
Yep. You
should feel like that. You should be in those rooms or try and put yourself in those rooms.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You should. I remember when we were at the Alex Hormozy workshop, and the guy to my left was doing like a stupid number they had like a roofing business.
Yeah.
And they were doing like multiple 8 figures. And I remember thinking, I can't talk to you. Like, we're not on the, you know what I mean? And it's like, good. You should feel like that. You want to get around those people, because that's where shit changes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because imagine you picked up the contract for him on all his advertising.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you go and meet that person at your level that's doing 150K turnover a year, he might be like, oh, yeah, I can afford $1,000 a month on SEO. Whereas this bloke will turn around to you and say, yeah, I can do SEO. It's $10,000 a month, okay?
Yeah. And
you're like, yeah, fuck. Oh,
Is that
look,
going to be enough?
It's a good starting point.
Is that going to be
And
enough?
you're like, yeah, is that enough? But that's, and they're the opportunities that come to fruition. I think what has to happen in that space is you have to back yourself.
Yeah.
I've had times in my life, and I've actually got one coming up now, funny enough, and I'll talk to you about it another time, but is a significantly large project that's sort of sat in front of me. Yep. And I know the developer quite well, and he knows me quite well, and he's like, I want you to build it. He came to me about a year, let's say a year and a half ago. And he goes, listen, I want you to build it. I don't trust anyone else. He goes, I want you to do it. And I looked at it and I said, look, I can build this. It's not a matter of skill set. It's not a matter of knowledge. I go, I can do it. It's, do I want to get into that space? Yep. Because it was a 5-story building, probably needs a tower crane, that type of job. I'm like, do I want to get into that space? And it's come full circle and it's come back again. And I'm going to meet him this week. And then there's that part of me that's like, hey, like, why are you saying no? Why are you actually saying no? Or why did you say no? It's like, I don't want to get into that space.
Yeah, that's
Question.
right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is, because there's no other logical reason when I think about it like that. When I think, why should I not, give me the good reason, the reasons why I shouldn't be taking this on that are beneficial for you, for me, as in George, to do this thing. And I'm like, well, it's hard. It's going to be hard. Okay.
Do hard things.
Yeah. No one said it was going to be easy.
Yeah.
No one said life's going to be easy.
Correct.
There's a whole range of things. And I was looking at it, I go, I can't actually convince myself to say no now, given where I'm at in my life and what I'm trying to do and achieve and all that sort of stuff. And I'm like, I'm standing, because we talk on stage, we mentor other builders. It's like, how am I telling you to play a bigger game when I'm not playing a bigger game?
Absolutely.
So it does come back. And I think that's the great thing about making yourself uncomfortable and putting yourself in those rooms, because then all of a sudden you then level up. You become the next and best version of yourself. And then who knows, the year after that, it's probably a different room altogether. Maybe could be a 20-story building, or it could be something completely different. Maybe not in the same industry. Maybe the challenge could be a personal challenge, all right? And you're standing next to a bodybuilder and you're like, oh, well, I want to have a 6-pack in 6 months' time or 12 months' time. Well, be uncomfortable. Take your shirt off and stand around all of these people that are in fantastic shape and say to them, I'm going to have a 6-pack in 12 months' time. Who knows, whatever it's going to be.
Yeah. And my wife on the weekend just completed a half marathon. And
have you done that? Did you do that as well?
No, I was a spectator, and that is a challenge of its own, and getting around the course and getting all the shots. This was her second half marathon. And she actually did a PB, and she did it under 2 hours.
Yeah.
Fantastic result.
Yeah,
that is quick.
Yeah.
How many Ks is that?
21.2 Ks.
Yeah, right.
And the way she achieved that PB in that good time is when you start a marathon, you're on the start line, they have different groups as to typically what pace you might run at. When she
they do like under 2 hours, over 2 hours, sub
2:15,
9,
2.5,
And then
like
the rest.
that, and then the rest. So
I'd be the rest, and then I'd catch an Uber the rest of the way.
So she's learned a little hack, and this is about putting yourself in uncomfortable places or surrounding yourself with those people you aspire to be.
Mm.
So her first marathon, she did by mistake. She put herself in, I think, the sub 2 hour category and took off and ran her fastest 10K she ever had. But that was her strategy for this weekend as well, in the Brisbane Marathon. She actually went and placed herself in a faster group. You take off, guess what? You're trying to keep up with them. And ultimately, she got a better result from it.
What says that saying? The mind will give up before the body does.
Yeah.
You know, so if you've got that target and that person that you're running with or trying to keep up, or that group that you're trying to keep up to, it's definitely going to elevate you for sure. And then I think that's a very powerful lesson even in business as well.
Yeah.
Being in that room and following those dreams and those aspirations.
How often do you find, speaking of mindset, how often do you find with the businesses you work with, how often do you find it's a mindset thing? And then how often do you find it's a structure thing?
I think structure precedes mindset. And
So
I think
with this comes
it
that?
changes throughout the stages of your business. I think to grow a business, your first $2 million is going to be the hardest $2 million you ever make. And that takes a lot of grit and determination. You're doing everything and you're operating in chaos. And there is a good chaos and energy that comes with that. And I think the mindset really kicks in to make that decision to go and start a business. Because the statistics are in Australia that, what is it? Most small businesses will fail within the first two years. So
Yeah. I think it's like 5 years in, it's 90-something% are wiped.
yeah,
Something stupid.
It's a phenomenal statistic,
You
isn't it?
know what though? Everyone I talk to, been in business for a while.
so straight away you're setting yourself up for quite a challenge.
Yeah.
And that does take, a mindset of resilience, a lot of fear and a lot of risk, and you've got to be comfortable with that.
I feel like your appetite for risk, you get more comfortable. Like I remember the first month I was in the negative. I almost threw up. I thought, oh, this is it. We're going under. Do you know what I mean? Like, what? We did it. We're backwards. Like, I could not believe it. And now you have a backwards month and you're like, it's okay. I've been there before.
Yeah.
Like, we'll make up for it.
Yeah.
Because you've been there.
And you can forecast now. You see the future. You're like, all right, backward month, but I know next month I've got this, and this. Or, hey, I need to do more work.
Yeah. But like,
Correct.
even with the I need to do more work, it's not panicked.
No.
Because
It's
you're like,
driven.
I've walked this path before.
You're no longer reacting, you're responding. And I see a lot of that happening in the market and the businesses at the moment with fuel prices going up, everyone's margins under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Minimum wage rates are about to increase from the 1st of July. There's a lot of pressure on businesses right now, and I see a lot of people reacting. The first thing they do is look to cut cost, and I'm not saying that's incorrect. It's just an incomplete response. And I think the longer you've been in business or the more you've actually endured and those negative months, I think you become better at responding to situations in your business than reacting.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think with the cutting costs, it's also just optimizing a little bit as well. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think you just got to sometimes step back and go, hey, there's a bunch of expenses that we don't need to be spending right now. And it sometimes means you got to cut back on some of those things.
Yeah, agree.
What should people do in that scenario? Like, what would be the first ideal step?
Well, it comes back to knowing your numbers in the business. I see a lot of people, when we say reacting, they are cutting cost, and it's not incomplete. It's not incorrect. It's just an incomplete response. But
Just part of the process.
but starting from
Can't be the only thing you got to do.
not from the bottom up with your numbers looking profit. Start with the top down. Look at your revenue. Look at what does it actually cost to serve? Where's your revenue coming from? Is it your customers actually profitable? There's some parts of your business where there's customers you may need to let go. Is there customers that are costing you more to serve than the profit that you're getting out of them? So starting at the top and actually just looking at the fundamentals of your business, really understanding that cost to serve, gross margin performance, and then look at the operating cost in your business afterwards.
I was fortunate enough to get a copy of the book early on, and I had a squiz through, and I do want to go back and read it properly. But you've written a book called, is it Business Pattern Science?
Business pattern science.
Business Pattern Science. Why chaos isn't random and what to do about it. And in the book, you talk about a story of someone that you worked with, and they had that exact same issue in the sense of they were doing a certain amount of revenue, but they had revenue they weren't really grossing well on.
Correct.
And they had to reduce it a significant amount. Do you want to share that story? Because I think it's quite, because most people, when I read this, I was like, fuck. Most people will not do this. And I'll be honest, like if I was in that person's seat and you came and told me to do this, I'd be like, there's no way.
It's a counterintuitive move to actually.
But it's the right move.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
When you see the end play, you're like, okay, this makes sense. You know what I mean?
Correct. So this was a business that I got placed into, somewhat by accident, and I was there to do a turnaround. This business was turning over $20 million. And when I arrived, that year they'd lost $2.5 million in profit. They'd lost their way. How were they surviving? They were owned by a large US corporation. And this was an Australian New Zealand division of that business. So we went in there, and the local general manager or managing director had lost his way. They were losing money. And my initial brief was to go there and shut it down. When we got there, quickly identified there were some fundamentals incorrect in their business and how they were charging for their work to start with. They were sending crews out to do work and losing money every hour they were sending them out there. So we fixed that up first and foremost. Then we actually looked at, they'd had quite significant growth from 10 million to 20 mil, and they'd actually diversified a lot of their services and got into a lot of markets which weren't their core business or their core competency. In doing that, they didn't quite understand how to price it. They weren't servicing their customers quite well. And the management team they had in place, they were flying blind. The managing director at the time was the one holding on to all the numbers. He was the only person in the business who actually knew the dire situation they were in, and they were losing money every single month. When I arrived there, it was a hard move, but we had to share that information with the team, saying, guys, like, you're coming to work. They were hardworking employees. They were good guys, and they didn't want to come to work every day and lose money and feel like they were failing in their jobs. And, it was a hard conversation to have, but it was an important conversation that had to happen initially. So straight away, we empowered the management team with owning their P&Ls and the results. But the move that we made was to actually get back to core business. We actually diversified essentially and wound back from 20 mil to a $10 million business. And we celebrated making $1. The next month we made 1,000.
Yeah.
And then we just had that consistency. Once I saw consistent results, they weren't big results, consistent results. I'm like, okay, we've got a business model here that now works. From there, we scaled back up to 18 mil, and we were making $2.5 million profit at that number. So yeah, that took a number of years to complete. But yeah, sometimes you can actually make more money. And this is quite often the case for, trade-based businesses and other service businesses. As they grow, they'll make more money at $4 million than what they are at $8 million.
Yeah, they'll turn more over and make less. You say that all the time.
Well, they've got a leaking bucket. Yes. At the end of the day, that's what's happening. They've got inefficiencies in their business, and those inefficiencies are fine at $2 million. But when you get to 4 to 5 to 10 to 20, the water's gushing out at that bucket at that point. Yeah, it's amplified. And I experienced that during COVID. We were a great business before the industry got hard. And it was fine. Like, you'd make a mistake. Oh, fuck, that cost 10 grand. All right, whatever. But then when you go and you have all these other huge pressures on your business that you never accounted for in the past, and then all of a sudden that 10 turns into 10 per project every month. You're like, okay, that's a big issue and needs to be fixed. So again, the problem, I believe, is a lot of these guys learn it as they go.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, when I get to 4 and I have a leaking bucket, then I'll come back down to 2, and then I'll fix it, and then I'll go back up to 5.
We'll go again.
Yeah. And had they spoken to someone before they went to 4, when they get to that point, they'd be like, okay, great, this is a good thing. But this is like, you don't know what you don't know. You're like, no, my business is good.
Yeah.
It's good. So if I get to 4, it's just going to be more good. Yes. And I think that's where it sort of falls down a little bit.
Yeah, and it's growth is not a linear equation.
No, that's right. Yeah. And people always think that too.
Yeah.
And they have that emotional connection to their bank account. It's like, when it goes up, we're happy. When it goes down, we're sad. When it goes up, we're happy. When it goes down, we're sad. And like, I've been victim to that as well. Right? It's hard sometimes to disconnect from that. But it's also important to understand you're going to have peaks and troughs in your business, and it's part of the journey. You're going to have that month where you're not making much money. I had a month in my business. When was it? I think it was early last year, where I got my BAS back in Pascon.
Yep.
And it was the ATO owed me money. And I'm like, fuck.
That's not good.
No. I'm like, shit. I go, that's the first time in my history that the ATO have paid me money. And I go, that's not a good thing. And it's like, I said that at an event once.
So you're paying out more GST than what you're collecting.
Correct. Correct. And I looked at that and I was like, look, I kind of knew it was coming because I had a couple of projects that held money
Yes.
until the following quarter. So I kind of knew, and it was a huge, like the next quarter I paid a massive GST bill. So it paid itself out anyway. It sort of made up for it. But yeah, I had a huge month. It was the start of the year and it was after Christmas. That's what it was. And the developer didn't pay December or January. And then I think that trickled into Feb. And it's like, I didn't get the money coming in for that first quarter. And then the next quarter, literally when was it? Jan, Feb, March, like April, it was just a massive influx of cash, which was great. But then at the end of the next quarter, you had a huge tax bill that you had to pay. But yeah, it was the only time that's ever happened to me in business. And people say that, oh, wow, how good would that be? The ATO gives you money. I said, like, guys, that's not great. That's not a good thing. You want to be paying tax.
You made an interesting point about, and we all do it, and it's hard to detach from, is a lot of people judge their business performance on their bank account.
Yeah.
Well, it's like it's the scoreboard, almost. It's
It
not.
is.
It's not, but it is, if that makes sense.
But I do see a lot of business owners, that's the only thing they look at without understanding the fundamentals of actually how the business is performing. Is it profitable or is it not profitable? The cash in your bank is about once you successfully make profit, that just becomes a collection issue. Yeah, the timing of collecting money in and out of your business, that's your cash flow measure. But I do see some businesses who struggle to differentiate between their bank balance to the profitability in their business as well.
Yeah, it's something you learn. And to go back to what you said before, like you go from 2 to 4 and then you realize all this shit that's wrong. But there is nowhere you go that can teach you everything that can go wrong with your business.
No.
It's
because
like-
there's probably people that haven't even experienced that.
Yeah, and then it's like you got to kind
It's
of
going to teach you about a COVID pandemic.
No, exactly
Or
right.
a war
And that's
in the Middle
killer,
East.
isn't it?
Isn't it?
Exactly
Like,
right.
yeah.
How do you
What do you do?
navigate that? But in saying that, I believe that the difficult times that I went through during COVID has made me a millionaire, will make me a multimillionaire. Because the next time the next COVID happens, and it could be this war, like who knows?
Yeah.
All right. But the next time the next COVID happens, when I say COVID, the next global pandemic, because it's been shown that it happens every 12 to 15 years. Something in the world happens and everything turns to shit. In 2008, it was the GFC.
Yes.
Right. This time around, it was COVID. So I find that people that adapt to those disasters are the ones that always make the most money at the end of the day. I've seen it with our next business partner who I used to work with. He made a lot of money during the 2008 GFC.
Yeah.
Like a huge, like stupid amount of money. He went out, he bought property at the lowest price. He opened up this, I won't go into it, but a business that exploded and ended up exiting. He listed on IPO, like he listed the business, everything. It went next level. And great, good on him. And then I've also seen, who was it? Grant Cardone.
Yes.
So he had a similar thing in the GFC in 2008, and he's like, he lost all this money, did all this stuff, and he used to say it at his events. And then when COVID came around, bang, he was the first one. He let go 3,000 employees. He shut down this business. He shut down that business. He consolidated everything. And then he went out and bought huge amount of property. And as a result of that, became a billionaire. And then he went back and out and employed 5,000 people. And it wasn't that there was a lesson in that I saw, is like he reacted. He was proactive in his approach. He wasn't reactive to what was going on in the world. Right. And that's where I think the next time it happens, I'll be in a better position. Like even now with the fuel prices, for example, right? So I saw that. I didn't do anything about it as far as, because I got fuel cards for my employees.
Yep.
But I was ready to, because if fuel did get to $5 a litre, I had it ready to go. Right, everyone, fuel cards are no longer part of your package. I had the letter ready. I had everything ready to go. I go, you'll need to now start, or it won't be fully subsidized. You need to pay, you'll get this much fuel allowance per month. That's it. Everything above and beyond that, you have to pay for, or whatever it is. The fuel cards are a privilege, not a right. But if I'm going to be, because back in COVID, I was that guy that looked after everyone. I did the right thing by everyone. And I didn't protect the ship. I didn't protect myself. I did everything good by everyone else, but not myself and not the business. Yep. Whereas now it's like, no, the ship, the business is number one. If I have to fire you because the fuel prices are too high, then so be it. Look, what do you want? Do you want to have a job or do you want to pay for a bit of fuel? I'll let you decide.
I think everyone in that situation will certainly opt to keep their job and their
Yeah,
their
absolutely.
employment,
And
they
hey,
give up a few
you've got to come
bucks
up
on a fuel card.
That's it. But it might also mean that you got to be willing to let them walk.
Yeah.
Like if you turn around and say, I don't get, well, I'm going to go here because they're going to pay for my fuel. I said, oh, best of luck to you. Thank you so much for your service.
Yep.
So again, this is where you have to make those decisions to say, this is the best thing for the business.
So do you feel since COVID, and I'm sure it might not be COVID, but any kind of crisis within a business, something you endure and go through and you come out the other side, do you almost feel like you have a playbook?
Yeah, I do a little bit. I think it also builds resilience for yourself. It's not just the playbook, it's the ability, and you kind of said it, you don't stress over a month that might be red this month or next month or whatever it might be.
You build a belief.
Yeah, that's right. And there's that resilience there that, no, fuck, I've got this. Yeah. I've got this. I've been through worse.
We've been here before.
No, we've been here before.
Yeah.
We've been here before. And I felt like that this year.
Yep.
And it's like there's been certain things that have happened and have come up and you're like, fuck, are you serious? This is happening again. And then employees will look at you and go, oh, how do you do it? How do you do it? Well, this is how we've got to do it. And it's a very difficult thing to teach that. I think you almost have to experience it rather than teach it, because you can never teach someone that level of resilience or self-awareness. It's like they have to kind of experience it.
No, but I think what you can teach is the ability to critically think and the belief to back yourself, and say, okay, cool, like this is fucking shit, but like I'll get us out of this. Like it's okay, we'll do whatever it takes, or we'll work out a way, or and then you start, like you get, business is the best vehicle for personal development. Like you learn so much about yourself. Fuck, like when your back's against the wall and rent's due tomorrow and you're like, how the fuck am I going to do this? You know what I mean? I'm either going to call someone.
How are we going to make payroll?
Yeah, payroll's due. And you're like, okay, how are we going to make
People's
this
lives are depending on me.
Yeah, and those pressures are not for everyone. Like I don't believe everyone. I believe if you bite off too much too quickly, you'll crumble. Like if you've never run a business and you go run a $50 million business with, 170 employees, and you're gonna crumble as soon as payroll's due and you got no cash flow. You're like, I'm gonna go take my life, right? But you build up the resilience to the, okay, like I'm gonna back myself to get us out of this current situation, right? I think one of the things we're losing at the moment, though, is people don't think like they can't work their way out of a paper bag. Like, you know what I mean? And as much as I'm a endorser of AI, I partly blame AI.
It's taken away some of that ability to critically think
for
themselves and critically analyze. But coming back to your point about mindset earlier as well, and around resilience in hard times in your business, is the ability to understand what can I control right now? What is within my sphere of control versus what is outside of my control? Like we can't control world oil prices right now, but what are the things that I can control? And that applies to any crisis or situation in your business. If you want to build that resilience, or it might be something you haven't dealt with before, it's really understanding, what can I control right now? How do I respond?
Taking a step back and saying, what are the things that I can actually, what are my options here?
Yep.
Like hey, just on the fuel thing, by the way, I heard so many people complain when it was at $3 a litre. I drove past the survey last night. It was $1.90. And I haven't heard one person say yay. Not one. You know what I mean?
Wanted to celebrate?
Yeah, it's at $1.90.
Is it?
Yeah.
What do you, diesel?
Diesel.
Oh, really? I haven't seen that. I've only seen
I thought that was, I don't know. I was going to make a video ranting about all the people ranting.
But that's the new norm now, isn't it? Like, isn't that still $1.90? I think still high, isn't it? It was like what was it pre the increase?
Probably diesel was sitting around $1.70.
Really?
I think.
Yeah, it was less. It was
Pretty
definitely less. It wasn't $1.90. It was definitely
The
less.
$1.90 is good. I think
that's how conditioned. That's how conditioned I am.
Yeah, but I think everyone's like that now. They'll probably look at it and go, oh, wow, bargain.
I think I got up to
I kind of understand
$3.24 or something in its peak. So $1.
Yeah,
when you think about how hard it is to get oil, like what's involved to get oil to a Bowser, you kind of understand $2 a litre. You know what I mean? I get it.
Yeah, like why is milk more expensive?
Milk is ridiculously more expensive, and although like even water, you go buy a bottle of water, 600 ml, $4 at the servo.
Yeah,
it's more expensive than petrol.
Just can't run your cars off it.
No, yeah, that's it.
Not yet.
Some time.
What's your take on AI, Troy? What do you think it's going to do to the business world? Are you a user of AI?
Yeah.
Yeah, great question. AI, I think, is a great tool.
100%.
Used in the right context and used at the right time and used in the right way. Now, if you're a business that is already operating in some level of chaos, and this even applied 5-10 years ago when systems were coming out, you had ServiceMate, you had ClickUp, you had Monday, you had all these tools that you could put into your business. Now, if you've got a shitty process that you then go and automate and make faster, you've still got a shitty process that just runs quicker.
Yeah.
And AI is a little bit along those lines for some people. Look, for me, it's made me a lot more efficient in some of my outputs that I do. Been able to synthesize, my thoughts and things like that. It's still all my IP that is going into it. Been able to synthesize thoughts and ideas and
Expand on them.
and to be able to output things as well.
And enhance it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I've looked at it from multiple business aspects, and I look at some of the documents that it's produced for me, and I look at them and go, okay, could I have put that together myself? Yeah, I probably could have. Would have taken me a lot longer. Would have taken me a week comparatively to the 5 minutes it did. And then also, would it have been presented as professionally? Probably not. Would it have looked as nice? Would the words have flowed as nice or as well or as more as logical or as technical? Probably not. Yep. So I think it enhances what you are and what you're about and what you're trying to get out of it. As long as you don't do it, I think where AI fails today is people might use it as a tick and flick.
Yes.
All right. As in, okay, go do this form for me, go. And don't even look at it, just copy, paste, send it off to someone. And then it's got something in there that's irrelevant or something in there that you don't need or something in there that's detrimental to you.
Yep.
So I still think it's not at that level yet. But again, you might say something different. It's also the questions that you ask it, the input that you give it, and it's a learning machine too. So the more you do, the more you invest in it, the better it will become. And then eventually maybe it will get to that point where it's like, okay, this is exactly what you have to do. You know what you need to do. Don't call me.
Yeah. And
unless it's an emergency.
You made a very good point because the output is only good as the input. And that's the context in which you're asking or prompting it and the questions which you're asking. And I've used it to enhance and make parts of my business even better. We built a diagnostics tool to be able to identify and disrupt patterns within a business, and a diagnostics tool to be able to do that. And I actually used AI to assist in the scoring logic behind that, which made it a more robust and defensible tool in how I diagnose those businesses. So, it's really allowed me to.
But it's also something that might have taken you a day to do.
Correct.
Right.
Versus now 6 months of engaging with a university mathematics professor to build an algorithm on how to diagnose this.
Whereas now you look at it and you go, this is the information. This is what I'm trying to get out of it. Assess everything and go, tell me what I need to do. And it's like that. And that's the beauty of it. But it does come down to how good are your questions and how good is your input into what you're wanting it to do.
Yeah, and we've recently hired in my wife's business a few new employees over the last 12 months. And it's been an interesting journey because there's a couple of them, and they are younger than us. You would think they would, adapt to technology a bit quicker than us and be using AI. But a couple of these employees were actually a little bit reluctant to use them. We said, like, God, just put it into chat, will you? Or just ask Claude a question or something like that. It's going to speed you up and allow you to provide a more quality answer or part of your work. And there was absolutely reluctance to use it. So I think there is now within careers and industries almost two camps of employee, those who are actually becoming proficient in the use of AI tools, and that is exactly how to prompt it, which tools to use. Not every AI tool is like, so which tools to use for which application, how to prompt it, and then those who are basically using it like Google.
Yeah. And then soon there'll be only one.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
Because the people who are using it like Google, you're going to get wiped.
Yeah. So the
You're
advice,
just going to get replaced. Like, if I can do the work of 4 people, those 4 people have nothing to do.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And it's a multiplier. I tell people all the time, like, it's a multiplier. If you use it properly, you use it efficiently, it'll make you better at what you do. It'll either allow you to do things you can't do or allow you to get time back. You know what I mean? Like, as in something took me a week, now it takes 7 minutes.
So thinking about those hires and their reluctancy to using it, do you think they are the right hires in a business now?
Well, interesting point. 2 of them are no longer with us.
Yeah.
So
that's exactly right. See, I would look at my next hire, and I'm at the point where we're probably a job away from hiring another person in the office. And, you know, again, it's always resource-based. But the way I see it is in the past, I probably would have already hired someone. But because we're utilizing AI and aspects of it now, we're like, well, we kind of don't need to. I've got some team members doing it this way, some team members doing it that way, me using it for elements of that role that I would hire. And it's like, well, I don't really need that person at the moment. Something that used to take, because I would normally call up, say if it was a scope of works for an electrical contractor, I would normally say to my administrator, say, hey, do a scope of works for this project for the electrical work. And they would take a good person, say they're competent, they know their shit, maybe a couple of hours.
Yep.
Got to review the drawings, got to look at all the notes, all the things that need to go in, maybe need to refer to the head contract, what have we allowed, what's the prime costs, all that sort of shit. Whereas now it happens in 5 minutes. And instead of me asking an employee, I'm asking AI.
Yep.
Now, I think the next hire has to be in my business. They have to be able to use it. Like I can't, if they say, oh, no, I don't, it's not me, AI. I'm like, cool, thanks, we'll let you know how you went in this application.
I think you got to see a new round of questioning in interviews where 20 years ago, standing kind of question was, well, how proficient are you in Microsoft Office? Can you use Word? Can you use Excel? And
yeah,
other
that's right.
applications?
That's
I think the narrative's now going to change where, I don't even think maybe 6 months ago, 12 months ago, it almost felt a little bit taboo to say, why don't I use AI?
Yeah.
To help me do my job. But now I think that the line of questioning in a job interview is, well, tell me how proficient are you in the use of AI tools? And you need to be.
Yeah, I sent a summary of something a while ago. And they're like, oh, do you use AI for that? Of course.
Yeah.
Why am I going to sit here and type this email? That's ridiculous. That is literally the most ridiculous thing you've ever said.
If you're not cheating, you're only cheating yourself. Right?
Yeah, like I've got to, I've 100% I'm going to use that. That email that I typed, for me to type that, because it was a summary of a meeting, all right? And I just wanted to have it in writing. Hey, this is what we spoke about. This is what it's about. Go. Recorded the meeting and using an AI like Fathom or whatever it might be. What's the other one? Fireflies, I think it was.
Fireflies.
Yeah, there's a few out there. So I recorded the meeting and said, here's a summary. I want to email the person. Go. And it's like created the summary for me, literally copy and paste, put it in the email. Hey, John, great session today. This is what we discussed. Dot points, action items, go. And it's like, yes, I did that with the use of AI. And now we both have, these are your action items. This is our discussion. You know what needs to happen. So the next time we meet, I can go through those and say, well, have you done this, 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 and this? And it's like, yes or no. And I'm like, well, that's why you're not getting the results. Or great work, you're smashing it.
And that's a really interesting point, because one of the 5 patterns of business pattern science is clarity and rhythm. And what those AI tools have allowed you to do is ensure you've got the right patterns in place in your business quicker by giving clarity and direction to your team after that meeting.
Yeah.
And enforcing that rhythm and the meeting cadence as well, where you hold people accountable by providing that summary back.
Yeah.
And now, rather than typing minutes, which may have taken you an hour or two when you eventually get to it, it's done within minutes.
Yeah.
It's gonna, I read a stat that I thought was wild this morning, and I was just looking it up then. And I follow a futurist. His name is Peter Diamandis. I don't know if any of you have heard of him. He's got a podcast called Moonshots. He's like super successful, friends with like Elon and blah, blah, blah. And every morning I get a email summary of his podcast episode. And the one they released this morning said that 80% of new code is written by Claude. Claude wasn't around 3.5 years ago. Like, think about how much we've changed in the way that we do things. Or 80% of new code is now by Claude, not by an AI, by Claude. So that means like 95% of code would be written by AI. I would dare say 99, right? And think about how much we've changed in such a short period of time. And to go back to your Microsoft Office question example with the interview, it would be like someone going in. We'll get to the point where if someone doesn't use AI, it'll be the equivalent of someone coming in 20 years ago and being like, email? No, I use Australia Post. And you'd be like,
I'll send you a fax.
yeah, and you're like, well, you cannot work here, right? But I give an example when we do the events, and I say, if you're trying to hire an excavator operator, it's the equivalent of someone saying, I don't use excavators, but I've got a really good shovel. And you're like, dude, like, how are you going to compete? You can't. I think we're in for a rude shock.
But one of the downsides of that, and I think email probably started contributor, but I'm concerned about AI is the art of communication.
Yes.
Being able to
communicating is
have
thinking.
a conversation.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the most powerful things you can do in business still today.
Absolutely.
Is to communicate. If you have great communication skills, you're going to go very far in business because it's all about that. And I'm not just talking about a well-written email. I'm talking me and you speaking to each other.
Correct.
That's huge. Your ability to negotiate, your ability to communicate clearly and get your point across and influence, massive. Like we do it all the time when we're on stage. We stand on stage and we communicate in such a way that's impactful and meaningful. We do this podcast. Our very first episode that we did, it was very different from right now.
Yeah.
There's lots of ums, there's lots of ahs, there's lots of, us swearing for the sake of swearing because it's cool to do that on a podcast. Like there was things that we just weren't doing well, but that's great. That's part of our story and part of our journey. But even now we've become so much better at not just on stage, but in this scenario and this space that it's also helped in business conversations and relationships moving forward.
And I already saw, in my daughters, from 20 years old down to 13, just the change there. And even just in that narrow gap where my oldest daughters, went through their teenage years without Snapchat, that wasn't released yet, but my younger daughters now have Snapchat. And even how they all communicate with each other these days, they've lost that art of conversation or being able to, directly talk to people. So, already I think, there's some challenges there for the current generation. And then you've now put AI on top of that that's going to write your emails for you, write your letters, whatever it may be. Where do you learn that critical skill?
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I think you're seeing it. Well, I see it more and more. Do you follow like Alex and Layla Hormozy?
Yes.
Yeah. So I saw a clip she put out and she said this thing of like, if I send you an email and I use AI to write my email, and then you get my email and you copy it and you paste it into AI and you say, give me a summary of this, and it gives you a summary, and then you're like, all right, write a reply, and then you copy and paste the reply back to me, and I take it and I put it into AI, and then I say, give me a summary, write a reply, and it's like, are we even fucking talking? Like, what the fuck is happening? But that's the world and what it's coming to.
Yeah,
that's right. Absolutely. It's just you may as well just cut out the middleman.
Yeah, and
just have one bot speak to another bot.
Yeah, you're like,
we're in the way.
Just let the bots talk.
Yeah,
we're slowing you down.
Yeah.
Have you experienced AI hallucination yet?
Yeah.
No, what do you mean by that?
It just fills the gaps. It does.
I was finishing off a business proposal and just asked Claude to tidy it up a little bit, and it actually came back and it changed my name to Troy Mackenzie. And I'm like, who the hell is Troy Mackenzie? And then like no conversation history, no chat history. There's no any other client, person, colleague with the name Mackenzie, and it was calling me Troy Mackenzie all through the document.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then it'll apologize when you pull it up. It'll be like, sorry, I don't know where I got that from. You're like, what the? That's a bit odd.
No worries, Joseph.
But I'll tell you what it does do as well. It makes mistakes. It does.
Yeah.
But it also...
But this is where you can't rely on. Like at the moment, it has to have, you have to review, you have to have that input in it.
But you've also, like humans make mistakes.
Yeah, it's true.
I'll tell you what though, you correct the AI once and it doesn't make the mistake anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You correct it once, it's like, boom, fixed. And you're like, that's pretty good. I like that. I don't know, you got to tell me a few times.
Imagine if you say that to any of your staff or employees.
Yeah.
And we're all going to make mistakes, and you fix it once, and it never happens.
The other thing is imagine
that's the greatest. When your employee does that, so you're very happy with that.
Yeah, and imagine when you call your employee a fucking idiot. You can't do that to your employee, but you can do it. What the fuck? Are you dumb? Like, sort your shit out, mate.
Critical thinking.
Does anyone actually say please and thank you to Claude?
All the time.
Yeah.
all the time. I do it without even realizing.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, it'll do something. It's got excellent, thanks. Like I'll say something. Yeah, that's great. Thanks. Now let's do this. Awesome. Go. Yep.
It'll give me everything I need. I'm like, you're the best.
Yeah. Well, your agent emailed me the other day. I can't remember said, and I just responded, "You the man, Reggie."
Yeah. It's getting out of control.
Yeah. But then what did it say to you after that? He goes, George responded, said, It seems that he is pleased with the outcome or something like that.
Like he seems quite happy. I'm like, all right. I think AI is going to impact our ability to critically think and in turn communicate, right? And I was lucky enough to have a squiz through your book prior to this sit down, and I'm going to take a guess here and tell me if I'm wrong, but I would say you're an avid reader or at least learner.
Avid learner.
Learner?
Yes.
Do you listen to books?
I read a lot of books. I don't listen to books. I've tried audiobooks. I can't do it.
Oh.
I'm old school. Love to go into a bookstore and touch them, feel them, smell them.
Yeah.
I buy a lot of books, read a lot of books, and podcast.
Mm.
A lot of driving in the car. Whack a podcast on, and
Yeah, I often do that more than listening to music these days.
yeah.
Yeah, there was some key things that I thought, this is great. I was like, there was some things in there I was like, I got to go back and read this properly because I need to take my time with this and really, really digest the information. But
have you got the audio book of that out yet? Oh, we need
Not audio, no. That could be the next one.
The next step.
Yeah, because a lot of people I speak to, I think I am, a rarity that I haven't adopted audio books, but a lot of people listen to
I think you'll just capture another segment of the market.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just getting it out there and people knowing it.
Why no?
Just haven't released it yet. The book is
No, as in for yourself, consuming wise. Like, so what you listen to podcasts, so you can listen to people talk.
I'm a visual learner.
I guess is it the
don't learn
learning
by
of
listening,
it?
yeah,
What do you learn from podcasts? Or what sort of podcasts do you listen to? Apart from this one, of course.
Of course.
Yeah. This one, of course,
I'm upset.
$1 billion days. Always love, Steve Bartlett, Diary of a CEO.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Second best podcast
Absolutely.
after this one. Yeah.
And Huberman Labs.
Oh yeah, Huberman. Yeah. Andrew Huberman.
Yeah, I love his. I listened to him interview David Goggins, and the way he broke that down as to how David Goggins' mind actually works and what was going on in his brain, because we just got this term out, just Goggins, push through.
That's a weird.
It was an interesting combination. Yeah,
because one's like stay hard, fuck your weakness, and the other one's like, well, what he's actually doing there is his brain's releasing this.
that's exactly what it was like.
Yeah, and he's like breaking down the science behind everything that's happening. Interesting duo.
So behavioral science, human psychology. Yeah, I love it all.
Yeah, I can tell not just from this conversation, but from what I've read as well. You've obviously invested a lot into yourself. Why do you think people don't invest as much in themselves as they should?
Oh, good question. Why don't people invest?
Because people don't. And you do the greatest example of this, George, and you say you go buy a brand new Ford Ranger and say, I spent $80,000 on a Ranger, and everyone says, well done, look at it, shiny. But you go say, I spent $80,000 on a Mentor, and everyone's like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
You just want a Colt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you get scammed?
We've had all that. We've been involved
Yeah.
with that ourselves.
Yeah.
Why do you think this is?
What I think it is, one of the things I have learnt is, we really understand, my wife and I, our own personal values and personal motivators. And, it's taking away all the service level stuff where you think you got, values of honesty, integrity and things like that, but really stripping it down raw, and went through a pretty challenging exercise to pull these out. And our personal values, and we actually share, our 3 of our top 5 together: freedom, growth, and connection as well are our personal values. So when it comes, freedom in the context of, yes, I live in Noosa, but not laying down on the beach all day going surfing. Freedom of time, freedom of choice, freedom of where I get to choose to actually place my energy. And then we have achievement as well. That is a high value of ours, and that's been observed all the way from my career. When I left school, I just wanted to leave school and start achieving and doing the next thing and the next thing. And why people don't invest in themselves, I just think they have a different set of values. Some people actually value stability and comfort as well.
Yeah, there's a huge comfort factor there.
Yeah.
It's also
Security, yeah.
I think it's like with marketing. When people go and spend money on marketing, they're spending money on the unknown.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to give you money, but I don't get anything in return right this second. And I think it's the same thing when they invest in themselves. It's like, cool, I'm going to give you $100,000 to go and fix my business, but like, is it fixed yet? Like tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah.
We're going to be done. And this is going to be the best thing I've ever done. And it's that unknown that I think people have the issue with, but also like, it's not you that's going to fix the business. You're just going to give them the tools. They need to do the work and do the repetitions and the push-ups. So it's like breaking down that barrier, I think, for many people to go, yes, I'm willing to invest. Yes, I'm willing to go down this path.
I would also say that it's a thing of like people, you're not taught to learn,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Elaborate.
So you aren't taught to go and learn things. You are taught to learn what you learn in school, and then it's kind of like, cool, you now go into the real world and be productive,
Figure it out.
right? But you're not taught to. Yeah, like they should. It's almost like, and I've spoken about this with our team. I'm like, hey, we should do like a book club. Like, I don't know, do you follow Patrick Bet-David?
No, I do.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know what exactly it is, but they've got something in the high level. He's a PVD podcast. They sold his company for like 300 million a few years back, and I think all these, like his leadership team, they all have to read the same book every month.
Interesting.
Yeah, or something along those lines. And I thought that was cool because I was like, you kind of like saying, hey, like if you want to come hang with me, like you need to be an avid learner. Like I don't care if you like reading, I don't care. Like learn. There's no reason to not do this. Find a way to consume this book.
Yeah.
How you do it is up to you, but find a way to consume this book.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because you want to grow with people growing around you. And I think that's really cool. You know what I mean? And I think we're not taught to do that. We're not taught to. I read my first book when I was 25, 26 years old. I've become an avid reader since, but I wasn't taught to read. For me, when I was growing up, reading, that's for nerds.
Yeah.
Now I'm like the biggest nerd, right? Like I read and read and read.
Yep.
And I think that's something, touching back on the whole AI thing, I think reading is going to become more popular. The same way exercise wasn't a thing 200 years ago. And it became a thing.
It did.
I think reading is going to become, it's going to be like brain exercise. Because otherwise you're going to see a lot of brain atrophy. And people aren't thinking anymore. You're not using your neural networks.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then we're going to see cognitive decline. People can't string words together anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, you see all those memes laughing about it. Oh, hey, chat, there's someone at my door. What do I do? It was like, what's going to happen when they can't even put that together?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think we will see a segment of that, like a period where we start to notice that, and then a period where we bounce back, and, you know, there might be like, I don't know, maybe book clubs take off. I don't know, something where, you know, you go to, same way you go to classes now and you do, you know, high intensity training, you might go to reading classes, or you might go to some type of brain exercise class where, you know, you do stuff with your eyes and whatever it is. I don't know. But I think we'll see a big uptake in that.
Yeah, and I think there are multiple modality of you know, health, wellness, and well-being. We're already seeing that. Like, you know, 20 years ago, would have we, you know, gone to a meditation studio or had access to meditation tools,
Ice baths,
and talked about an ice bath. So, yeah,
red light therapies and all that.
I do all that. Not the red light, but yeah, all the rest of it. And I do see the benefits from it as well in business and life. And it's when you start experiencing those benefits for yourself, then it, you know, certainly gets widely adopted.
Yeah, you experience it firsthand. Nothing builds a better belief than experience.
Absolutely.
So the book is Business Pattern Science: Why Chaos Isn't Random and What to Do About It. Is it out? Is it available?
It is available. We haven't done an official launch as yet. It's on its way, but it is available on Amazon right now.
Available on Amazon. Business Pattern Science. This is my copy. You don't get a copy, George. Sorry, you have
That's
to buy it
okay.
from Amazon.
Let's go. If you use the code, the checkout code, $1 Million Days on checkout, you'll get 89% off as well.
Who's this book written for?
This book is written for business owners, founders, or leaders of companies who typically probably doing $2 million plus in turnover, all the way up to $50, $100 million. It all applies. It's once you get to that certain level within your business that you start having to employ staff and have leaders or managers, and you're growing your business, is when business patterns really become applicable in the business. That's who it's really targeted for.
I look forward to diving into this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for people who want to follow the journey, where can they learn more about yourself and your business?
They can follow me on Instagram and the socials. Business Alchemy is our practice. So Business Alchemy is the practice of business pattern science. And we've got some pretty cool plans what we're doing for this. Essentially, we're creating a new category. So think of Uber created a new category of transport. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be an Uber, but essentially a new category of management discipline. There's plenty of business frameworks out there, scaling up, EOS, OKRs and things like that. I've used them all. They are great in their own right, and they're really good for businesses. I think you need a business framework. But each of those that I've worked under, I would still see businesses have improvement for a season, then they would regress because they hadn't structurally fixed the patterns within their business that underpin everything in which they do. So this is a new management discipline, a new category. And looking at later on this year, maybe early next year, then starting to move towards a certification pathway where consultants, business owners, and others can actually become practitioners in business pattern architecture.
And then they can deliver this.
Correct.
So that they will adopt like EOS.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. EOS has EOS implement.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
I like that. That's awesome. Well, if you're a business doing over $2 million, go onto Amazon, type Business Pattern Science, and get a copy of the book. Troy, we really appreciate you coming down and
thank you for having me.
Making the trip. I've enjoyed this conversation.
Great chat.
I look forward to getting into that book, and I might just do a review it on YouTube as well. I don't know. We'll see how we go. But I look forward to diving straight in. But really appreciate you coming down, man.
Great to be with you.
No, thanks a lot,
guys.
mate.
All right.
Everyone else, thank you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't, Robbie's going to give you a phone call, or his AI agent will definitely email you, because we have all of your details. Even if you just come past the post, he knows who you are. So we will find you. So make sure you subscribe, and then go and tell 4 other friends to subscribe as well.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.